Yo, 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 what's up? I'm sure we'll get some more people rolling in here in a minute. We'll just kind of let people trickle in. So tonight, I'm going to be doing a few more enhancements to our new, what are we calling this? It's called the template generator on Nozzle. And a template generator is essentially a way to take a data model, some type of data model, schedules, devices, locales, phrases, and then you provide templates where you can create as many phrase templates as you want, and then it will multiply out all of your different data models that you're linking to across your templates and create a bunch of phrases. So like right here, let's see, let's go to page. Pagination isn't really working, is it? That's interesting. But you can see if we sort by like device or keyword groups, we've got kind of the output of these phrase templates are being multiplied out against our phrases and locales and devices into these final tracked keywords. And then we're kind of we're estimating based on the schedule how many times over the next 30 days it's going to be pulled, so we can kind of show you usage and pricing like as you're editing your keywords. Hey, what's up everybody? Hey Tanner, are you doing something that goes to production code of Nozzle, or is it some sort of demo tutorial? I'm actually working on code that I'm pushing to production technically. It's hidden behind feature flags. It's hidden behind feature flags so that not everybody can mess around with it yet. But yes, I'm working on production code. And I believe I just found a bug in the pagination, so I wanted to go and check that out because something is being really wonky here. I can't go to the next page. So we're going to dive into the pagination and just kind of see what we can get up to tonight. So, yeah, I've got this keyword source template. This is the generated keywords table that we're looking at right here. Let's go down to where we actually are rendering our table. So there's our table that we're rendering. That table is using generated keywords or nothing. We should probably memoize that just in case. Const table data equals, we'll just do it inline. And that's generated keywords. Yeah, table data. I don't think that was the error, but let's see. How do you do feature flags in React? Care to talk about it? Well, right now we only have one feature flag, and that is an admin feature flag that we have just in the user settings. So because Nozzle is behind an auth, all of it's behind an auth, we are just pushing feature flags through our profile objects basically. We don't have like anything fancy to manage them yet. We're working on that actually right now. But for the time being, we'll probably just push different feature flags right onto the profile object for every user. And then we'll also have some feature flags that are per workspace as well, and like per team or whatever context they need to be. And then I'll build a UI around that so that you can go in and kind of tick those feature flags on and off as you want. Yeah, hopefully that works out. So table data is now being memoized. I don't actually think that was the problem. Yeah. But my guess is let's see, the table data come from generated keywords. And generated keywords is using a memo without, I think I know what happens. I got my ESLint plugin is gone for detecting bad memorizations. But you know what? I haven't missed it too much, which is kind of weird. So, I mean, obviously it would have been nice right there, but it also generates a lot of like false positives too, in my opinion, that I just don't really like. So let's see if that fixed it. Indeed it did. Okay, so for our phrase templates, we have 4 of them. And our phrases and our locales, devices are just multiplied against everything. So they're being multiplied out into these phrases. So if we just look at like just desktop, you can see we have like phrase 1 in United States. Oh, looks like this might be a bug still. Oh no, it's not. Phrase 1 in United States, phrase 1 in London. Phrase 2 in the United States, phrase 2 in London. And then we've got the near me stuff. And then what's cool is some of these are using the locale inside of the phrase template. And so we don't multiply those out across all the templates. We just multiply those out if they land in the actual template. So phrase 1 in London is only going to be in London. You're not going to get phrase 1 in London with the locale as the United States, right? Sorry, I'm getting over a cold. So I think this looks really good. And right now we are totally just randomizing the 30-day poll data. And one thing I actually wanted to do was fake that a little bit higher, because right now it's rerunning on like every render. So let's do this. Up here we have our generated keywords. Generated keyword row. This is going to accept polls as a number. We're going to do polls 30. And then polls, was it 100? I'm going to open up my Slack really quick and see what we talked about. Let's see, 365, so 30 days and 365. So polls 365 is also going to be a number. So we won't need that anymore. And then, let's see, down here, column accessor polls 30. We're going to have another column that's polls 365. And we won't need this generated keywords anymore. We can just push the table data right as generated keywords. And I think it's props. We should probably just destructure that up here. So we'll do generated keywords is fetching is open. And there's going to be some props in here that we got to get rid of. Actually, let's get rid of all props in here. Sweet. That's wrong. That's okay. That's fine for now. Not all of the observable plot stuff is typed yet, and that's fine. So, come up to our keyword source template. So this generate keywords query. When we get this back, generate keywords query, data keywords. So what I want to do is I want to say const generated keywords, and we have to memoize it because you have to memoize everything in React. Generate keywords query data or that. And then we're going to map it. And then we're going to return what I had before. But we're going to have poles 30 and poles 365. Now, poles over the next 30 days might be anything up to 30, so we'll just do 30 to kind of fake it for now. And this over 365, we'll just say it could be up to 365, I guess. So we have generated keywords here. Let's see. Siggy says, I used to watch all your stuff back in the Quick Drive chat days, and I remember you were always thinking about state management solutions. Since React Query, what are your state woes? Are your state woes mostly gone? No, they're not. So my state woes have just moved. They've moved to the router, which is why I'm building TanStack router. So when you move, Moshifon wants to know if I'm recording this. Yes, I'm recording it. It'll be on YouTube. So when you start pushing application state into the URL, more state needs to be managed by the router. Routers are not good at handling state or doing it in a type-safe way, or doing it in a scalable way, which is why I'm building my router, because React Router was not good at it. And Next isn't super great about it either. There's just some like polish points around managing state in a scalable way that when you move from first-class state management systems like something like React Query or Zustand or Redux or whatever, and then you try and use that same kind of a state management system out of the URL like a router, you're kind of like, bleh, this is terrible. So my new router has a lot of that, and Nozzle hasn't moved over to the new router completely yet. So Nozzle is not using the new router totally yet. It's currently on a feature branch. It's not in production, but we're in the middle of converting over, yeah. Alright, so we have generated keywords. I'm going to go replace everywhere that we're using this now. Yep, right here. So generated keywords, what's this yelling about? Is missing from properties equals clone from binary from JSON 6 more. Oh, go. Oh yeah, this needs to be a plain message because we're using buff gRPC. So does not satisfy the constraint message. That's weird. It should. This extends a message. Scheduled keywords extends a message. Oh, I guess it's a number, and then we have an array of those. Well, that's kind of weird. Yeah, see, I knew it was going to kind of be like that. So, okay, so it's plain message. Sorry, buff of this, and then that. Okay. So that's going to make it so that our made up stats for now are not going to be jumping around every time that we render. Generated keywords has already been declared. In line 452, generate keywords. Where has that been declared? Oh, I just forgot to get rid of it down here. Well, let's get rid of that one, because we don't want that one. And I believe that's going to take care of the problem. Nice. Do I have, let's see, can confirm TanStack router is unbelievably great for pushing your state into search params. Oh, thanks, Sean. Yusuf says, do you have a UI designer on your team? You're looking at him. Yeah, right now the front end, all of the front end Nozzle team is sitting right here, baby. We got 14 people total in Nozzle. Only one of them is UI. That's me. So I handle and have handled for a really long time. Almost, I've had a few employees, but everything from product design and product development, API design, all the way down to pixels. So it's a lot to handle. Bro Nifty says 10 stack. What's up, Bro Nifty? It's good to see you. With the chat on your productivity, must be at lowest. We keep distracting you. Nah, I can handle it. Alright, so now our stuff's not jumping around at all. So when we come back and forth here, it shouldn't be jumping around at least. Okay, so we have some interesting things happening. Our 30-day polls, they're not calculating correctly. Now that's because we got to jump into our observable plot charts, which are not type safe, so they're not barking at us, but they will be really soon. Observable plot is they're getting the TypeScript version out here really soon, and observable plot is fantastic. So let's go down to observable plot. It looks like our keyword ones are fine because they're not pulling from anything that we're faking, but the 30-day polls are not. So let's go down. We have a panel, and really we're going to have to change this to polls 30. So let's see, it's going to be keywords or polls 30 or polls 365. We'll default it to keywords, and then down on our panel we're actually going to have one more here. And this is now going to be polls 30, polls 30. This is going to be polls 365. 365-day polls. We'll just call it that for now. And then down here we have our panel set to detect just like an other case. But now we need, if panel is equal to polls 30, we want to render this, and then we're going to have a completely separate one for 365. Now these are the charts that we're concerned about here. Polls 30 is not really working. That's because our observable plot is set to do polls right here. Now what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pull this whole component out, and I'm just going to call this polls 30, or actually we'll just call it polls, and we'll give it an accessor, and we'll call it polls 30, and we'll just see what happens. We might have to add some more stuff. Oh, Joe Puzo's here. What's up, Joe? No UI framework? No. Just Tailwind. Everything is in-house, mostly. So we got function polls, and obviously you're going to see a lot of technical debt here. There's things I have to abide by here in Nozzle that have been here for a while. I can't go and just change everything. I don't have time to do that. So some things you'll see really new. Some things you'll see are like, 5-6 years old. So so for polls, we're going to accept some props, and one of them is going to be the accessor, and then we're going to return kind of what we have here. Now everywhere that we were doing X polls, we're actually going to be doing X accessor. And then everywhere that we were doing, let's see, do we have anywhere else? Everywhere we were doing text polls, we're also going to be doing props accessor. Do we have anywhere else that we were doing that? Nope. Okay. Then I feel like that should work. So if we come to keywords, 365. So generated keywords flat group is not defined, and that's because we are not generated keyword group flat group. So that's because it's defined up here, and we're using it here as well. But we will extract that out into both places, I think, even though it's shared. Just because I don't want to have to repeat I don't want to have to create an API for it. So we're going to do this. And then that means we're also going to have to pass generated keywords. So let's pass generated keywords, which is going to be a generated keyword row array. And this will be props.generated keyword. And let's just destructure because we're in a pretty small scope here. Generated keywords. So no props required. Props, accessor, don't need that either. Let's see. I stopped putting ternary operators in my JSX and replacing them with this. Const, export const if condition, otherwise children return condition. Yeah, I thought about that too. Another nice way that I do it in some places is I'll just like dive into an if statement. So basically, inline function, right? Call it, and then I can just do my own logic inside of here. In fact, it's not a terrible idea here. So we could do that right here, and we could just say, if not generated keywords length, return null. If panel equals keywords, return this. If panel equals polls 30, return polls. Otherwise, just return null. And that's not supposed to be that. It's supposed to be that. There you go. Yeah, so polls needs generated keywords. Let's see if that's working again. Generate keywords by flat group. Oh yeah, since we pulled it out of the other one. So what we're going to do is we're going to yank this one out too. And we're just going to basically copy what's happening here. And we'll do keywords. And this one's only going to need generated keywords. So now we come up to keywords. We don't need the accessor, we just need that. And then if panel equals polls 365, we'll do polls 365. So we can reuse some of that logic. Those are fundamentally different. Are we going to run into class components, or is this where you draw the line? Oh no. So I mean, like, when everything moved to hooks, I just refactored the entire freaking app. It took me like 2 weeks, and I loved it. And then, yeah, everything moved to hooks, and like I was a really big embracer of hooks, maybe too much, because now there's things that I don't necessarily like about some of the side effects, but that mostly is just like use effect, use memo, and use callback everywhere. Hate it. Actually, use effect is really good, but use callback and use memo are annoying. Not when you actually use them to memorize. That's different. But when you have to use them to satisfy the change detection algorithm for React, it's just stupid. Okay, so this is still undefined, and that's because we need to add it into this function as well. Let's see. That satisfied now. Locales by ID query, that still needs to be there. So we're going to add that in. Yeah, it'll just be use query result from locale. You got it, Copilot. You did a great job. Good work. And then we just gotta pass that to all of these in here. Pretty sure that should satisfy. Alright, are we still broken? Nope, that one's working. Go to 30-day polls. Alright, we're back to working here. And then 365-day polls. These are exactly the same. We're just kind of changing the data. But the keywords actually have some different charts. Actually, polls by keyword group. You know, it's funny. The only one that's not there in keywords is polls by device, and that's because it's kind of like garbage. Yeah, our app is the same. Hooks were a big refactor, and then tech debt right now is everything after hooks. Any upcoming conferences you will be at? Yeah, I'll be at Reactathon in the park. And then I'm going to, for sure, go to React Summit in New York City later this year. I will probably be at React Rally here in Utah, which is one of the greatest React conferences I've ever been to. So much fun. And possibly at RemixConf, but that's just because it's local. So we'll see if I can convince myself to buy a ticket. I find I never end up using use memo. Usually create my own memoized function. I just use memo directly. Because apparently I like pain. Yeah, maybe you do. Okay, so I have an idea. I think we should pull these out. Like this is like this observable plot right here is this is a by keyword group, basically. A polls by keyword group. So we're gonna do polls by keyword group plot. Let's pull this out. And I'm actually going to double up here. Let's see, where did I do that? Polls by keyword group plot. There it is. Alright, so it's missing the generated keywords flat by group, which I believe is the only place it's actually used. So we can actually move this into this shared component, and then we can just kind of duplicate this. The locales by ID query is not needed here because we're not doing locales, so that's sweet. So all this requires is the generated keywords. This one is by locale, so we're going to pull that one out and say polls by locale plot, generated keywords, and then we will just duplicate this thing, polls by locale. Plot. So this one needs the locales by ID query, so we can just grab that. Locales by ID query, polls by locale plot. Oh, I need to say plot. I use memo anytime I have data from an endpoint and need to manipulate that data for a render. Yeah, that's basically what we're doing here. To get on topic, what is a pull in this thing? So Nozzle is a SERP monitoring tool, and a SERP is a search engine result page. We go out to Google and we scrape the HTML off of Google searches at scale. So a pull is what we call one time of going out and grabbing a single search page, grabbing the HTML, cataloging all of it, decorating it with many other API calls, and putting it into the database. And we price by pull. So it's very important to, we talk about everything in terms of pulls in Nozzle. Pulls are, 1/100th of a cent or something like that. I can't remember the exact price right now. So that's what a pull is it's one data fetch of a unique search engine result page. And what makes up a unique page is the phrase, the language, the location, the search engine, and I believe that's it. Those 4 things make up what constitutes it. Oh, and the device, 5. So those 5 things are what constitute a unique search engine result page. So if you set up your keywords to be pulled on 2 devices, you're doubling the amount of pulls that you're doing. If you search it in 5 locations, you're timesing it all by 5. So yeah, pulls are what you charge by the customer decides frequency. So if we go to nozzle.io pricing, you can kind of see how that all works. So like if you just go monthly, the basic monthly plan, like this is, let's see, 1,000 divided by, it's 5.88 divided by 1,000. So every pull costs 0.005. So 1/20th of a cent per SERP that we go grab. So for $60 a month with no contract and nothing up front, you get 10,000 SERPs, 10,000 URLs. So you could literally track just 500 keywords for pennies on the dollar. It's pretty good. Or you can track 200,000 keywords for thousands of dollars a month, which is even better for me. All right. So we don't need that one here, but we do need the locales. Polls by local. We might have to do keywords. We might have to do labels. So we will get into that in a minute. But somewhere in here, oh yeah, we are grouping by the count and the X. X was count, grouping by the Y. So Y is the locale ID. Okay, so that seems like it's gonna work. And it still does. Perfect. Alright, so now the next one we need is, so that doesn't need to be in there anymore, so that finally moves into the place where it needs to be. So, keywords, polls. So here's the next observable plot. So this is by keyword group, so we should be able to reutilize this polls by keyword group plot. So let's comment that out, and let's do this plot, generated keywords, and that should be all that it needs. But it needs an accessor. Count group, right? Doesn't it need an accessor? Polls by keyword group. Getting all lost in here. Polls by keyword group. group polls, 30-day polls, 365. Yeah, they're all the same. It needs an accessor of some sort. No, I have Copilot in here. Any insight on why component libraries never offer carousels? I don't know. They're kind of, I don't know. I've never really felt like I needed one, to be honest. Sorry. Okay, so this polls by keyword group plot. We're getting all the groups, but we want to see, we're grouping the Y by group, but what is the X? Just the count? We don't want the count. The X needs to be the accessor. So accessor needs to be keywords polls 30 or polls 365, I think. So let's see. So this one will be accessor is keywords. No, that's not right. So for the first one, we're just counting, yeah, how many keywords are in there. So accessor is potentially undefined. And if it is undefined, we're just counting them. And then if it's polls 30, if the accessor, if there is an accessor, we're actually going to be summing. Otherwise, we're going to do count. And it's the same thing here. If there's an accessor, we're going to be summing. Otherwise, there's a count. And the text is the same thing. If there's an accessor, we sum. Otherwise, we count. So this one doesn't have an accessor, but this one will. Pulse 30. And that's just going to be the accessor right there. I guess accessor is a filter on the data, or how to access the data. Yep. Expected type from out. Accessor does not here. Say pulse 30 or undefined. Accessor is just a string. Well, yeah, you know. There we go. Okay, so that means when it's keywords, we're just counting them. So 12, 24, that actually all makes sense. 30-day polls. It's not just 12. Now see, it is aggregating correctly because the scale is correct now. But the 12, 24, that's not correct. So polls by keyword group plot, that means the Y, or the text thing is not correct. So that means we also have to add text is accessor. If there's an accessor, then it is the accessor. Otherwise, it's just, what is it? I think it's just undefined. Yeah, so count. There we go. Sweet. Okay, then we kind of need to do the same thing for, so we have polls by keyword group, and that's the first one. Then we need by locale, which is going to be very similar to this one. So we just need to set that up. So it's also going to have an accessor. X count. So this is all the same except for it's just doing locale ID. Look up. And then our tick is actually doing that. So if we wanted to grab about the same stuff here. No, let's not do that. Let's just do this. So we're grouping by X. Yeah. So if there's an accessor, then we're doing the sum. Otherwise we're doing the count. Text. Accessor sum count. And then here we're doing X is the accessor. And then we're doing text or undefined. Oh, text is on the next one. We don't need that here. Yeah. X is the same thing here. It's just the accessor. And then we kind of need the same thing right here. And I believe that works. So polls by locale. Yep. Very nice, very nice. And polls by device needs to be pulled out as well. So somewhere up here we've got, okay, so we did polls by keyword group. This is now, oh no, we haven't truly tested our polls by, let's see, let me catch up on chat. Wouldn't it already be undefined if false? Or could it be an empty string? Turning accessor. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it would. It could just be an or statement, but I digress. Polls by locale plot means the locales by ID query. Okay, now we can check. That doesn't need to be there anymore, thankfully. Now we can check the, yeah, they're still working. Except we need a little bit more margin right for those thousands right there. Yep, there we go. And then polls by device needs the same treatment. So let's grab polls by device. Polls by device plot. It's not going to need the locales. We can just copy this. Polls by device plot. We're going to, instead of overwriting this, I actually think I'm just going to compare it. So let's see. We've got margin right 50, margin left. Let's put a margin left on there of 50. We're not going to need any of the color stuff, so we can get rid of that. We just need Y. We're not going to show, or no, yeah, we're going to have the Y-axis. X label, we still need to figure out the labels. Marks. Okay, so we have probably Y, format, okay, this is where we need to format device stuff. So, when it comes to X, or when it comes to Y, we need to format the device, and we also have to do that for fill as well. And then we have to do that down here as well. Y format device. Oops. And then text. Actually, I think that should just work. So let's get rid of that. Okay, let's check it out. 65. Very nice. It's working as well. Alright, so we have our device pulled by device plot, which is being multiplied out on polls, and then keywords is doing its own special little thing. And then we have our tabs and our panels, so I feel really good about that. Okay, so now we have our 30-day polls and our 365-day polls, which is super cool. Yeah. Good point. Or undefined. Yeah, we can just do this as accessor. Good idea, super ship. Okay, so what I want to do after that now is there is a table above it, and this table is using 10-stack table, and we can kind of filter a bunch of things, you know, so you can say every time that we scroll we are re-rendering these charts. I think I just want to check on that. Let's come down to, or no, let's go to our observable plot, and let's come to our use effect where we're appending it, and let's do console log hello. And if I scroll, it's not. If I resize it, should. Okay, it just felt like it was when I was scrolling. I'm always worried about that. Yeah, so this table is using 10-stack table, which is pretty sweet. Let me show you some of the definitions for this. So we're pushing in the same data that we're pushing into these charts, but you can see we're doing the phrase, and then we have the device, and we have like some accessors here for these that are actually returning the formatted version of it. Headers, we define our filter functions to be the kind of filtering logic that we want, and then in my table we have some logic here on the filters to say if the filter function is fuzzy, do this. If it's a string, do this. If it includes all or whatever, and if it's a number range, then do this. So it's kind of fun. But what we want to do is there's going to be some rows that come out of here. So there's going to be like const, or no, there's, so let's see. Generated keywords. So really what I want to do is I kind of want to replace these generated keywords right here with filtered generated keywords. And we need to get those from the table. So I'm going to say const filtered generated keywords table, and then I'm going to say get row model dot rows. And let's just log out what that is so we can kind of see what it is. Cannot read properties of undefined reading locale ID. Well, get row model. Am I doing this right? Yeah, it's going to be a bunch of rows. Oh, right. So we actually have to memorize this. React.use memo. And we have to map it to the original because we actually get the rows, like the table rows, out of it. And we can actually just call const table rows and do that because this is memoized anyway. It'll always return the same thing unless something in the table changes. So we can just do that. Whoops. map it down to the original. And now we actually have the same generated keyword row. Nice. Hey, Matt. So everybody, Matthew Lindsley in the chat is my cousin. And he is just either done or almost done with really good coding boot camp. And going to be a super, super talented developer. So if anybody's looking to hire a new junior developer who's probably going to have a pretty bright career, hit up Matthew Lindsley, and he will not disappoint. William Matt. All right, let's see. So now we're getting the rows out of here, and I have a guess that these rows that we're getting out actually are the paginated ones. So I want to make sure that that's not the case. So let's go to the next page. Yeah, see, it's only 10, and we want to get all of them. So instead of calling get row model, we're going to call get pre-paginated row model, which is a nice, easy way to say, give me the row model before pagination. And now we actually will get all of the rows, not just the paginated ones. We are setting off some alarm bells here or something like that. Let's see. Oh man, what is this error we're getting? Encountered 2 children with the same key. 27 polls. What is this? 26 polls. 25 polls. Keys should be unique. Well, yes. I agree that they should be unique. But I don't understand why you're telling me that. Let's stop logging them. And let's see if our filters actually work. So if we filter just down to desktop, everything cuts in half. If we filter to just Google or United States, or let's do keyword groups. Let's say, you know what, I only want to look at locale, near me, locale, and locale keyword groups. Or we can say, hey, show me, only give me keywords that are going to have 30-day polls above 50. And we can actually increment this up and kind of see. I could just hold it down and just kind of watch as the data changes. That's interesting. It'll be faster if I hold down the shift key. Yeah. So that's pretty freaking sweet. 356. Do I have 356 somewhere? I do. Man, thanks guys. 365. Thanks for that. Okay. So now we can actually filter. Oh, we got a duplicate column header here. We need to do 365-day polls there as well. Okay. So yeah, if we hold shift, so we can kind of filter down to say, you know, show me all the keywords that you generated that are going to have a 30-day poll range from 40 to 50. You know, and there's only a few. There's only 2. And they're going to, so there's these 2 keywords basically, right? So yeah, makes sense. The total polls, let's check our math here. 40 and 47, 40 and 47. 40 and 47 is 87, so that's correct. They're both the same locale. Everything looks good to me. So let's get rid of those filters. Oh, were those filters the same? They were the same. Did you notice that? If I add a filter here, it changes it over here as well. And that's because we have the same ID on these columns. So we need to give these columns a unique polls 365 ID. And since we're using the string accessor, we actually don't need to do that. It's only when you use a functional accessor that you have to do IDs. So we actually don't need, well, we do need that one because we're doing d times. But let's just do this. Times, and we can get rid of that ID. There. Now our 30-day polls, let's reload. Now our 30-day polls filters are going to be independent. Alright, so yeah, now we can actually get some better filtering out of this. But I really like that. We can also do fuzzy filtering, so it's like, hey, show me every phrase that has near me in it. And or just near. Or we could do phrase 1. Yeah, so here's all the phrase 1s. So, pretty sweet. Or we could filter down to keyword groups and just like, hey, show me these. I really like this. This is a lot of fun. Stats, keywords, 3. Oh yeah, thanks. I got that one. All right. But I'd love to see more of this in better quality. Oh no, is it doing the static again? I'm so sorry. Let me actually. I'm gonna fix my audio really quick. So just hang on a second. Why is it being so staticky? Let's see here. Properties. I'm going to turn my monitoring on so everybody chill out. The static is unbearable. Is it? I can't hear that much on my end. No. Okay. Let's, really? Down next to mono, use device timestamps. Curious what's going on with the one filter there. Oh. That just needs to go away. I need to add buttons to the filter bar to like, oh yeah, I need to add buttons to the filter bar to be able to just show you that there's a filter there and you can remove it. Haven't done that yet. Min 1, max 0. Oh, it's because the number input, it's technically undefined, but for some reason it's just saying 0. It's because my number input forces it to be a number. Actually, I think, let's go to the table. Is the static, you don't hear any static on your end? Okay, that's good. I mean, I don't hear any static anymore. Maybe I got rid of, is it, let's see. Yeah, I don't hear it anymore. So I'm going to turn the monitoring off. All right. I hope that's good. Okay, so in the table, in our table, we have a range filter, and the way that the range filter works is it just uses 2 numbers, the min and the max. And right now that is a number input. Right now that's a number input. No, why did I do that? Give me back my DevTools. And the number input should allow undefined. And honestly, when it allows undefined, it should not snap it back to 0. So, I think what I'm going to do is come in and find allow undefined. And somewhere in here, we've got this format. So, this is the number input, And what we do is when we handle the change, we come through and we set the string and set string. And then what it does is if we have a min, if min does not equal null and the number is lower than min, then set string. But then when we blur off of it, so like if we just do that, it's fine. But when we blur off of it, it's triggering this on blur and it's formatting the value. So we have format right here and it's setting the string. And basically what we need to do here is we need to say if value equals undefined, or not value, but if there's no string, basically, and allow undefined is set, then we just want to return, because format, we're calling format with the value, and the value is the value is the actual number value. Format the value. So the value, if value equals, let's see, value equals undefined, or value equals nothing and allow undefined. I think this will solve the problem. Then we're just going to not format. So, yeah. And then same goes for the string. When we use state, we kind of need to say, if the same thing if it's that, then we just want to leave it blank. Otherwise, we want to do all this other stuff. So if that's true, then do that. Otherwise, format the number. Val is not defined, and I know val is not defined because it needs to be value. Okay, we got to double check this in a couple of places. I wish I had regression testing for components, but I don't. So it defaults to nothing now because allow undefined is set to true. But our pagination should not, our pagination should be not doing that. It should always be being forced to a number. And that's because the value is coming through. And allow undefined, why is that being set on the pager? So let's go check out our pager. Allow, let's see, we have a number input in here somewhere. And number input, allow undefined. So if val equals undefined, or val equals that, and allow undefined, then return. Well, it should be formatting that right there. Like I focus off and console log the value. It's nan. That's because it's being parsed. Yeah. And that's coming down from here. On blur format value. And pagination is just a number input there. It kind of looks like a select. No, those are two arrows up and down, so it's a number input. See, this is breaking everything. We gotta undo our stuff and think about this a little bit more. So, so the way it normally works is we need to reload. X does not equal null for null checks. It's the one place I didn't use triple equals, or yeah, I do that occasionally as well. Okay, so go. Just gotta restart the dev server for a second. All right. Suck. Suck. Now I have to edit the freaking video. Let's see. Okay, let's go back to the pager. So if I get rid of the number, if I click out of it, it's supposed to go to 0. What else did I do in here to bust this? Something else is going on in here. This is something we gotta figure out. Alright, where do we have number inputs? Let's try some of them. So these ones work. And they go back to 0, that's fine. Show 10 if I do nothing. And try and go up. But okay, so it's trying to say that blank is nan. And so let's just track the changes. So on change, it handles the change of the current value. And the current value comes up here. So let's say string is empty. So it'll come in here and it's still an empty string. We set the string, and if there's not a string and there's and allow undefined, then we on change to undefined, and that's okay. So that on change is going to go up, and then we return true. So if that on change goes up, it's going to come back down through value. And we are watching value here. So when the value changes, if we're not focused, we're formatting the value. I actually wonder what happens if we always format the value. No. On change, set string to string. So we're getting the empty string. If string is allow undefined. Okay, so we don't have allow undefined on the pager. It's not allowed to have an allow undefined. So it'll keep going. So if the string ends with a dot, it means we are just, we're typing a decimal. We try and parse the number out of the string, and this is going to be a nan. So I think if we do console log num here, we're going to get, nan, because an empty string is a nan. And then we say, hey, if the number that you parsed is nan, and it's allowed to be undefined, then use undefined. Otherwise, on change to 0. But if it's not allowed to be undefined, and it is nan, what do we do? I think that on change to 0 is correct. But what do we do with the string? We on change to 0. That'll go back up, and it'll come back down. Value 0. And then, so it is nan, so we're not going to hit any of this. So is nan num, allow undefined, unchange 0, unchange num. I think we need to return right here. And handle change. returns if it's okay to format it or not on the key down. So I think we return false. Yeah, so we empty it out and it's not allowed, so it goes back to 0. Seems like it should return undefined whether we allow undefined or not, unless I'm missing something. So when it's not allowed to return undefined, it will just return, it won't change the value at all. So like if you get into an undefined state, it just won't call back up. Like it won't change, it won't trigger the on change at all. I think. I'm not sure. Allow undefined from the usage side means that I never want to get undefined back. You always want to get a valid number back. Yeah, that would change the shown value. So in this case, we don't trigger the on change. I think we just don't do on change right here. And we just return false. So like if we get into here, it's not actually changing the value because, you know, if it's not changing the value as we type here because they're not valid numbers. It only will change it when it's a valid number. And the last valid number here, say, is 4. So then when we go back to page up and down, it's still 4. But I don't think that's right. I think if you delete it, it should go to the min, in my opinion. The min or 0. I think that's what it should do. So like when you delete it, it actually changes it to 0. Or the min. So like the min page size is 1. So we deleted it and it went to page 1. We hit up. And if we blur out, it goes back to 1. So we can't ever have it be empty. Now if we go back to these and we blur out, there needs to be like a second option where it's like, it's allow undefined, but also like allow empty is almost what I'm looking for, if that makes sense. And allow empty is different because so when it handles the change, it'll come up here. The string is empty, so this will be empty. Set string is empty. And if there's not a string, and allow, so that won't run. Allow undefined on change. And then we say, yes, you can format it. And then if the string is, it doesn't do that. And if num, this will be nan. So if isNan num, if it's not allow undefined, then it will do the on change. And I think what we need to do here is say else if allow empty, or no. We need to catch it before then. So we wouldn't even get to here, and we wouldn't even get to here. So it's like, if not string and allow empty, then we got to do some different stuff. We got to return false. It's not okay to format it. And then if we are allowed to return allow empty, it's the same as allow undefined, to be honest. Is it? If it's okay to allow empty, I think we just don't do anything at all. Yeah, I know. It makes me want some tests too. But I'm sorry, I don't have time for that. Allow undefined. I think this might be it. Let's just try this out. Format number. This is going to set it to 0 out of the gate, but I just want to see if it'll, yeah, see, it's not letting me keep it empty. So if, oh, because I actually have to put allow empty on there. But that's this, yeah, honey. Alright, I'm back. So it kind of feels like allow undefined and allow empty are the same thing. Like on my pagination, I don't want to allow undefined, and so it can't be empty either. But on this, I want to allow undefined, which means it can be empty. So I just think the allow empty is just kind of a superfluous option, to be honest. And I kind of just want to do, like if it's allow undefined, I actually want to change, like trigger the on change for allow undefined, but not format it. So like on my table, I want allow undefined. And then when I come down on my pagination, like I want it, yes, that's exactly what I want. Except for, oh, that's just one page, my bad. So that is exactly what I want. And when I delete it, I want it to go back to the min. That's perfect. And then for the allow undefined up here, when I delete it, it should just let me keep it empty, but it doesn't right now. So we gotta follow that. So if there's not a string to set string, so that'll set it to empty because it's empty. And if there's not a string in allow undefined, then it will on change undefined and return false. And that means that the handle change, so we're not relying on that anywhere right here. But we are returning. So it sends it back up and it changes undefined. We are focused off of it. The value comes back down if not focused for my value. So what we need to do is say if allow undefined and value equals undefined. Actually, it's if not allow undefined or value is not equal to undefined, then format it. It's kind of a lot, but no, still doing that. Okay. Something else is happening. So if it's not focused, let's just do this. Console log format value format value. Just see what the heck's going on here. So I blur. Let's get rid of these. So I blur off on blur format value. This is where we need to do that. Format value. And we say if allow undefined and value equals undefined. It's that. No, it's not that. I might do two, instead of two Boolean options, maybe a union type of empty strategy versus force 0. Yeah, I mean, I if I have to go down that route, I will, but I'm just going to get rid of allow empty. Yeah. So, why is this not working still? So format. So when we blur, it's setting format. It's calling format. And right here we're saying if allow undefined and value equals undefined. Honestly, we just want to return. We don't want to do anything here. We just want to leave it be. Console log out. So that should be happening here. I'm going to refresh just because I don't trust it. Alright. Yeah, see, I'm blurring on blur format value. Like, are we actually doing that? Blur. Yeah, we're calling blur. We're calling format value. Do we not allow undefined? Value does not, if value equals undefined. Well, we should have. Oh. This has got to be val. We were reading the old value. Nope. So we're formatting the value on blur. On blur we format the value. What's the value that it's coming in with? Console log val. Okay. Just empty string. Well, where is it being set to an empty string? So format value is coming off of the actual value that we sent up, which means we have to have called onChange with an empty string. I guess it's kind of the same. It's kind of like val equals undefined or val equals an empty string is kind of what it is. So like this one still works. If we get rid of this, it stays. Okay. That's what I want. For allow undefined. But I need the initial value not to do that. So right here we're calling format number. I kind of want format to return something. Like every time we call format, we're setting the string to something. I want to refactor this so that it makes more sense. So instead of setting string inside of format, we're just going to do that everywhere else. So everywhere that we're doing format like this, we're going to set string. As weird as that seems. Because then we have this const format, and it doesn't rely on anything above it, so we can actually do format value. And we don't need that anymore. Refresh. So coming down, now we should not have default zeros here, and that's exactly what I wanted. And page still works. Okay, this is great. So pagination works. The next thing I wanted to do that I told you guys about was the filter. So the different filters, I want them to have like reset buttons in them, if you will. Like if there is a filter value, you know what I mean? So the first thing I want to do is I'll do the text filter first, and it'll be a plain input. But what we're going to have to do instead of the plain input is wrap it up. And we're going to need a clickable in here. And this clickable is going to have an on-click that is going to column set filter value, and We'll just do an empty string for now. We'll do reset. Class name flex items center. Alright, so now we're out of the weeds on the number input and the pagination. We can have some fun. So when I search here, phrase 1, I want to reset, which should remove phrase 1, but it doesn't. Get filter value, column set filter value. Is that because plain input raw input? I don't know why plain input is referencing itself, but whatever. So plain input is using raw input, enable draft. Thanks for dropping by, Super Ship. Thanks for hanging out. Sean Brown's here. What's up, Sean Brown? So the input, enable draft, no, it's just props value. So when you column set filter, this should be resetting the value, to be honest. Why is it not? Reset. Tanner. Reset. It does reset the filter value, but it's not resetting the input. And methinks it's because plain input, for some reason the raw input, the value isn't like set draft props value. Like we don't have enable draft on, so it should just be props value. Console log props value. Oh, there's a lot of inputs on here, so this is going to be a crap ton of console logs. But maybe we can just get the re-render. Yeah. Okay, settle down. Yes, I know, I scrolled. Settle down. Okay. T-A-N-N-E-R. Oh, this is going to be terrible. Reset. That's so unhelpful. But I don't see Tanner in there. Enable draft. I swear I don't have enable draft on. I really don't. Placeholder on change. Value. Set value. This is so weird. Alright, so Tanner. Reset. Let's just look into the components a little bit. Like, is this a re-render issue? No. Like if I see, I hide it and I re-render it. So it's gotta be something else. Stop. Okay, I just want to inspect this one. Okay, input. Its value is undefined currently. text filter. Div anonymous. It's just a button. Forward ref. Anonymous. Type value undefined. On change. Type value undefined. Test. No, I didn't mean to do that. Value. Test. Okay. Undefined. So it doesn't update when it's undefined, huh? Clean input, raw input. Props value undefined. So we need to do this. We need to say either it's props value or it's empty if it's null or undefined. Pretty sure that's it for our plain inputs. So if we come down, search for phrase, reset it, it goes back to normal. Sweet. Okay, we're done there. Fix that bug. Reset. So what we want to do now is we want to say show reset. Const show reset equals. And for this one, we're just going to say if, if there's anything in there. Yeah. So the reset only shows if there's something in there. And I don't really want it to be shifting things over, so I'm going to put it at the end, and then we're gonna style it up a bit. So that plain input is getting a P2, so we'll give this a P2 as well. We're going to do BG yellow. Let's see. Reset. Dashboard keyword group picker button yellow 500. That's what we're using in other places. So text is going to be white, or no, black. Text extra small. And instead of reset, actually we're going to do an FA times. In the middle. So we start typing phrase. Yes, okay. And I don't know why that is blue. Actually, I have a good reason to believe why it's blue. Let's just do color black just to overwrite it. Don't really think I like that. Kind of like white better. Not sure how I like it. Let's just do items stretch, and then we'll do we'll actually do flex item center, justify center. We'll do text black normally, but on dark we're gonna do text white. And I actually don't want text extra small, just small. Phrase. Yeah, that's a little better. I wonder if it would look better without the P2. If we just did like P1. Or we do a PX2, or no. I guess that's the same thing. It just seems like a little big and bold, but I guess I'm okay with that. I'm alright with it. Well, let's keep PX2. So then we can just easily get rid of it. Phrase if there's something there. So now we need it on the select as well. So let's just grab this logic. Actually, let's just do. No, I don't really want to like. I'm okay to just copy this. So we've got the. Show reset. Select filter. Show reset. We'll throw this right here. Okay, so the show reset's going to be a little different for each one. Basically, get filter value. If not get filter value, or no, it's going to be if column get filter value sum not v. Yes, I know. What was that? Oh, yeah. So this is now filter value. Show reset. So let's test that one out. Nice. Okay. And then they select filter. Show reset. If there's not, let's see. Get filter value. If there's show select. If there's anything, let's see. If there's column filter value. That technically will work because I'm looking for a string or an array, but I'm scared to do that. So I'm basically, it's think that's what I want. So let's do a select one now. Select from 2 options. Yep. Select from 1 option. Yep. Cool. Check our light mode. That looks terrible. So what color is that? Is it really black? PG yellow, text white all the time. Alright, so we throw a search on there and it's not white. Oh, it's because I'm a fool. Alright. Good. I don't really like how dark yellow it is on this, and I would also like it to be a flex between, like a stretch on the select. So I think I want to do, this needs to have like flex 1. Yeah. So on the select filter, we're gonna do a class name CSS. What is this? Does that even work? I don't even know if that works, but it looks legacy. TW merge. We're just gonna merge these. And we're gonna do, what was it? Flex 1. So now when we throw one of these on, yeah, it goes all the way to the end. That's what I want. I'm just not fond of the yellow, honestly. Ugh. What could we do other than the yellow? Maybe we could just make it more subtle. Instead of doing all that, we can just have it be like, instead of having a BG, so there's no background, and we can just do like normal text, and then we'll say hover is text red 500. But it's a clickable, and I don't like that. I think I'm just going to do a regular button. Ugh. Clickable? Why are you blue? experience. Maybe I should have it be red all the time. But what I'll do is I'll have it be opacity 50 until they hover. And then I'll do opacity 100. P2, why did you end up all the way over there? Stay here. So yeah, there we go. Now it's gray. Get rid of it. Pop one on. Get rid of it. You can also do that inside of my little selector with this. You can just say clear all. But it makes it look nice to actually see like phrase 1, to see there be like a filter thing there. And I really wanted it for this one too. So like if the min was 20, it's like, oh, there is a filter on there right now. I can kind of see that red X. And when I click on it, it just clears it. So I like that interaction. Well, I'm getting tired, guys. It's been fun. I don't know how many people are even here. Where can I see that? On StreamYard. I don't know. Might not be anybody here, but anyways, yeah, we got to explore a little bit of Nozzle. We went through Observable Plot a little bit, which is a really great tool. We fixed an input bug with a number input. We fixed a pagination bug. We added filter resetting. Oh, we hooked up all the filters to the charts so that when you filter down inside of here, everything filters there as well. So that's pretty sweet. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. We reorganized all the charts so that they are like all little tiny components, really reusable. And yeah, I think we just need to get some real data in there for the 30-day and 365-day polls. And we'll be sitting in a really good spot. Yeah, hopefully we can do this again soon. There's a lot of other stuff that I'd like to show off and fun problems that we can solve together. So thanks for hanging out with me. I know it's been a really quiet night. That's usually how it's going to be if I stream at night. My kids are asleep just barely up the stairs here. And I don't want to disturb my wife too much. I don't know what she's doing in the other room. But yeah, just a nice chill. Usually I have some music going. I can't have it be like too loud. Just because, don't want to get the video taken down or anything like that. But usually I can play like Utah while I work on stuff. Like, I don't know. Can you hear? Why don't you let me know? Can you hear this music right now? Yeah, if you can hear the music, let me know. If you can't, say no, I can't hear the music. Nice. That's good to hear, because I really like to listen to music when I code, but I didn't want to like get the video taken down on YouTube or something like that. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.